Colorado had a tough non-conference schedule. They said that prepared them for this here today. And we'll see how they perform with it. Kuntz got the ball, throws it away, and an early turnaround layup is good from Allegri.
And what could have set the stage on getting to a 50-50 ball does just the opposite, sets the stage the other way with Eastern Washington get a very easy shot in the first 5 seconds of the game.
They officially call that the first possession going to Eastern Washington, but watch, that will be contested. Hume for three, no good. And they eventually switch it back. It will be Eastern Washington with the possession. It was the first possession of the game, technically, was Northern Colorado. Cleese going to work on this spot, misses against Hume.
Pretty good post defense by Bodie Hume there. He's about a 2-inch advantage over Cleese.
Long one, runs off the rim.
In and out by Cuxhausen, the kid that led the league in three-point shooting percentage-wise this year.
Cleese is going to lob for Ethan Price. Price, 6 points, 9 rebounds yesterday against Coeur Jean-Couch. Goes with the left hand and can't get it.
Price, the freshman of the year in the league. Coeur Jean-Couch under over 100 games in his career. Kind of the old guy against the new guy in the post.
What an outstanding matchup that's going to be. Jean-Couch, one of the best defensive players in this conference. There's a jumper on the way from Kuntz, no good.
Kuntz, the leading scorer in the league, as I have observed him a couple times, much more effective going to his left, his strong hand, as opposed to going to his right.
Price is off on the three, and Northern Colorado is off and running. Kuntz leaves it for Cuxhausen. It's deflected, and Jean-Couch grabs the loose ball. Back out to Cuxhausen. Great defensive play by Venters. Ahead now for Cleese. 4-0 early on.
And once again, we see a team that didn't play in the first night of the tournament off to a little bit of a slow start, while the team that won yesterday is feeling a little bit more comfortable, at least offensively.
Kuntz with the drive, and Northern Colorado is on the board.
And I said Kuntz prefers going left. That doesn't mean he can't go right. He is pretty darn good going right as well.
Eastern Washington with this starting lineup now. They've started the last 20 games. Bumping and backing is Allegri. This is the kind of grind-out game they want to play.
Well, they have that great overall size. Everyone around 6'6", 6'7", with the exception of Ethan Price, their center. So they will post different guys up almost all night.
Bodie Hume online but short. Eastern Washington the other way. Venters, a crossover against Johnson, and an offensive foul.
Outstanding individual defense by Matt Johnson. Bodie Hume now 0 for 2 from the three-point line. Last year, he put on an absolute show in the first round game where he went for 30 points. He hit his first 6 three-point shots with guys hanging all over him. Finished the night 7 for 10, but he just, as I said, put on a shooting display.
Jean-Couch at the top of the key. Here goes Hume, slicing through and misses the layup. Now a loose ball on the ground. It'll be a jump ball, and it's going to go to the Eagles.
Great hustle by Hume after missing that point-blank layup. This Northern Colorado team, Tony, 4 guys in their starting 5 who have played over 100 Division I games. 3 of them have played them all together here at Northern Colorado.
I knew this was going to be confusion, and I told you, but on the jump ball, the ball went to the corner, and it was technically possessed by Northern Colorado when it was being grabbed and saved in. Then it's a turnover and a layup by Allegri. Technically, Northern Colorado had possession first, which means Eastern Washington had the arrow for that jump ball. I just knew it was coming.
Good call. You're just like the Wizard of Oz, as I've gotten to know you. You know, who's behind that curtain with all the answers?
Oh, no. More like the Tin Man. Loose ball, and it's grabbed by Johnson. He speeds up the court. Leaves it for Cuxhausen. And the first three-point make for Northern Colorado happens with just over 16 minutes Here in the first half, it's 6-5.
Cuxhausen has made 5 or more threes 6 times this year. He is without a doubt, in my mind, the best pure shooter in the Big Sky Conference.
He was just 1 of 7 from 3 and from the field at Montana and Montana State. That was the most recent games. He hasn't had back-to-back games like that ever.
And that's
a miss here.
Twice Allegri has tried to post him up. Once he scored. The second time, Cuxhausen did a pretty good job of just staying down, staying between him and the basket.
Cuxhausen cut off, steps back. And Drew Cuxhausen now with 5 points. And Northern Colorado has their first lead of the night.
And the Eagles don't want to let him get started because he can get hot as a cheap pistol if you let him get going.
Bergerson, no good there. Kuntz stripped, taps it out for Dalton Connect. No, Jean Couch, the O-board, throws it back out. Cuxhausen, red hot.
As I told you, before this kid came to UNC, he led all shooters in the nation at McNeese State with 199 made threes, which
so far in the early moments of this game.
He has a season high of 8 made three-pointers early in the season this year.
Matt Johnson has been on a tear for Northern Colorado in the back part of this season. We'll talk about that later on. Here's a drive on the baseline by Kuntz. And here's Johnson with a step inside. Jean Couch against the freshman Price. Instead goes to Cuxhausen. Great ball movement, deep three. Matt Johnson, the 4th best offensive rating in the Big Sky. He's the guy that averaged just under 20 points a game over the last 8. He averaged 12 points a game before that.
Well, he's the team's second leading scorer. Eastern Washington was in a zone that time. I thought Northern Colorado adjusted that very easily, took their time, got the ball reversed, and then Matt Johnson got a wide open shot.
It's an 11-0 run, and it may continue. Jean Couch with the rebound. 4 of their last 5 shots have gone in, that being Northern Colorado. Eastern Washington without a score in the last 3.5 minutes.
Poor John Couch, what a great rebound. He just goes up and fetches it in a crowd. He's got great timing, great athleticism, and he goes after every rebound with 2 hands.
Kuntz, a step back jack. Dalen Kuntz.
And UNC overcoming that first game jitters in a big way, scoring 15 points in the first 7 minutes, having the Eagles down 9.
Bergerson using his muscle here. It ends what was a 13-0 run.
Bergerson coming off a nice game last night, 18 points, 6 assists. He led the league during conference play in assists and assist-turnover ratio, the tallest point guard in the league. And Kuntz just fired that one into the stands.
Well, you were talking about tall point guards. Cuxhausen not one of them.
No.
If he'd been Magic Johnson, you know, 6'9" or something, he might be able to go up and get it.
Kuntz just fired that one over there.
Bergerson back to work in the post again. A foul is going to be called on the post-up defense. It'll stay with Eastern Washington. The Eagles yesterday, 7 of 23 from 3. They scored 34 points in the paint. They actually lost the rebound war to NAU, 37-32. Although they did get the victory, there were moments throughout that game they were really in trouble against the Lumberjacks.
Well, they got themselves to the free throw line 25 times, which really helped them, where they hit 21 or 84%. And you see the way they play offensively, how they just try to post any and everybody up.
A foul away from the ball, not during the shot attempt. And this one's going to go against Zach Block, who's checked into the game for Northern Colorado.
Northern Colorado won their first game in the tournament last year by virtue of Bodie Hume's 30 points, and then lost to eventual champion Eastern Washington in the semifinals.
A long 2 from Venters is no good. Block up the left sideline. And the Bears can really, look at all the space they have out there on the floor with the way they can stretch the floor. So many guys that are dangerous from the outside. But Bodie Hume also likes to work to the inside, has it blocked, throws it out, and it is blocked for three.
How about that? Bodie Hume recovering his own block shot and finding his teammate block, the freshman from Lawrence, Kansas, for a wide open three.
The Kansas Player of the Year as a freshman. He was very young. Another two deep inside the paint, Bergerson.
Boy, they just are so physical. Eastern Washington I'm referring to when they get to in and around the basket.
Connect for Jean Cooch. Great defense of Cleese coming over. There's the one-on-one matchup. Jean Cooch throws that out. Johnson hits another three. Matt Johnson has just been tearing it up in the second half of this season.
He started every game this year, and for good reason. He's averaged 19.5 in the last 8 games, and he has been terrific in running this Bears offense.
Has this loose ball here. Block it one earlier. Now skies in and can't get it. Great defense, Ethan Price. Bergerson with his team down by 11. Cleese. Deep, has reach. Their hat on. Not even offensive rebounding percentage. They're 9th there. They're 9th at the free throw line, or getting to the free throw line. They're 7th in free throw percentage. The Northern Colorado Bears know what they're good at, know what they're not. And they go to that strength. And the unselfishness, the key that you talked about, Connect.
And Connect has been a great addition to this team. A JUCO All-American who played at Northeastern Colorado, excuse me.
Magnuson with the ball for Eastern Washington. Goes to Bergerson. Eastern Washington trying to find some consistency in that offense. It's been a 19-4 run in favor of Northern Colorado. Bergerson backing down on Hume. The double comes. He goes to Magnuson. A straightaway three. It's going to clang out.
The Eagles' leading scorer, Steele Venters, 0 for 2 and doesn't have a point yet here after 10 minutes.
Hume jumping through in the lane and scores it. Bodie Hume, who was on the all-tournament team a year ago. You talked about some of his performances. This year, he still has not had back-to-back games scoring in the teens or higher, but always contributing to wins. The bounce goes for Rylan Bergerson.
Well, Bodie Hume went under that ball screen, but that ball screen was too low for him to go under. He may go under it when it's all the way out on the court. That time the ball screen was about 15 feet. He went under and gave Bergerson about a 16-foot shot.
A deep three is good. Dalen Kuntz. And it's a 6 for 11 first half so far from deep for Northern Colorado. Cleese trying to answer in the paint, shoots it over Melvin and scores.
Great strength overall, but great lower body strength by Cleese. You very seldom see him get knocked off balance or his center of gravity. Of course, he's 6'6", 235. Wow.
Hume stepping through. And he traveled.
You know, Hume has not had a great scoring year this year. You and I had the game at Weber State where they won in overtime, and he only had 4 or 5 points, and I thought he just looked like he wasn't going to be able to take another step. He looked so worn out, and at the end of the game, he had 15 rebounds, a career high. So he does a whole lot more than just score points for his team.
And Hume, so far in this one, just 2 points. He is 3 made threes away from the school record. Venters lets it fly and comes up empty. The save by Cleese, but it goes to Jean Cooch.
Steele Venters now 0 for 3 for the game.
Johnson with the floater. He has every tool in that toolbox you need.
Wow, has he been playing just lights out here in about the last 6 weeks of the Big Sky.
Johnson with 8.
And
now Venters with his first bucket. It's a 12-point game. Northern Colorado in the lead. The nightcap here of the quarterfinal quadruple header. Thanks so much for being with us here this evening. We'll be back with the semifinals tomorrow. And the championship game, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN.
Well, one of the most athletic centers in the entire league.
Eastern Washington, so far in this game, yet to hit a 3, but they have 14 in the paint. Magnuson trying to add to that with the lob down low for Ethan Price. They now have 16 in the paint. 16 of their 18 scored there, and they've cut the lead to 10.
Well, the Bears got kind of cross-matched there with the small guy, Kuntz, on big 6'10" freshman of the year, Ethan Price, and he made him pay.
John Cooch going to work on Price. Comes up empty. Great defense by that freshman of the year.
As great athlete and rebounder as he is, John Cooch is not a real skilled player, as you just saw around the low block.
Cuxhausen called for a foul away from the ball. And for Northern Colorado, this is going to be their 14th foul. Eastern Washington with 4. So both teams with 2 to give here. With 6:17 left in the first half. Casey Jones in the game, hands off to Magnuson. Magnuson, really the only rotational player on this team from a year ago. Venters for 3. And the three-point drought comes to an end, and the lead is down to 7.
And you knew he would get going. Steele Venters, the team's leading scorer, second team all Big Sky. One of the best three-point shooters in the league. We're not going to hold him scoreless for very long.
Kennedy looking inside to Johnson. Kennedy now goes to Jean Cooch on the block. Throws way high. Cuxhausen has it. Here's Johnson with the clock winding down. Lets it fly and misses. The loose ball rebound to Kennedy. Here's Cuxhausen in rhythm. Eastern Washington getting the stops. Cut the lead down to 7.
Since they've gone to this 3-2 zone, it's kind of got the Bears back on their heels a little bit.
What a pick and a steal by Johnson. Kuntz off to the races. He's bumped and fouled by Venters. A 7-0 run for the Eagles here. And the Bears have missed their last 4.
What about this steal by Matt Johnson? Just jumping up and just snatching it out of the air. I think he is the guy that makes this Bears team go.
Just terrific instincts.
Johnson, Bodie Hume, and Core John Cooch have played 100 games together his last 3 seasons.
Hume driving to the paint. Cuxhausen steps aside for 3. He misses, but he will get 3 free throws. And Coach David Riley not happy about it.
You know what Cuxhausen has? He doesn't create a lot off the dribble, but he has a great and efficient little shot fake. By that, I mean he doesn't really get himself out of sorts where he has to reload. See that? That was so tight and efficient. And he finds himself at the free throw line.
Coach David Riley, excuse me. As I was looking at Ethan Price, as I was thinking that, but Coach David Riley pleading his case here in this moment. To no avail. Cuxhausen will shoot 3 free throws. A guy that's 86.7% from the free throw line.
Leads the team, obviously, with that percentage in free throws. Dalen Cooch, number 2 at 82%.
Drew Cuxhausen, as you mentioned, led all Division I players with 199 three-pointers in the previous 2 years at McNeese State. A graduate transfer. Looking to make it 3 for 3. So after Northern Colorado had a bit of a drought without hitting field goals, that was still a way to get point production. Their lead is back to double digits. Ethan Price against Bodie Hume. He bulldozes his way in there, and he'll earn a trip to the line. You can start to see that's the way that Eastern Washington wants this one to go.
Boy, they just want to power that ball into the low block, regardless if it's to Price or to their point guard, Rylan Bergeson.
Ethan Price, whose girlfriend Esther Little plays at Gonzaga. We talked about this yesterday. While she was there, the Gonzaga women's basketball coaches made an introduction from Ethan Price to Coach David Riley. And Ethan Price loved the program, loved what the Eastern Washington Eagles had to offer, and both people in a brand new country, boyfriend and girlfriend living by each other with different programs. But now he's found a wonderful home here as he comes from England and loves playing with Eastern Washington, and the freshman of the year now, and it's been a big boost for the Eagles. Long three, Cookshausen, no. A save-in, it was coming right at me, and I was about to pass it, but the scores table deflected.
No,
I apologize.
You got hands like a statue. I'm not even sure how you eat with those hands. I could have caught that and shot it in if you hadn't knocked it out of my hands. Ethan Price, the freshman of the year, one of 9 Englishmen playing in the Big Sky this year. 9. Montana State has 3 guys from England on their team alone.
Casey Jones thought about the 3. Magnuson will drive the base, and an offensive foul is called on Eastern Washington.
Bodie Hume not only very versatile on offense with his size. When Korjan Kuch goes out, he goes to as their post player and obviously playing post defense. He's had a great career at UNC.
4 minutes left to play here in the first half. Ethan Price called for that foul. A 10-point lead for Northern Colorado. Number 3 seed here in this Big Sky Conference tournament. Kuntz goes outside for Johnson. Johnson passes to the right side. Cookshausen not shy with shooting that ball here tonight. As for Cookshausen, that was already his 8th field goal attempt.
Well, it's like he picked up that semi-loose ball and didn't know what to do, so he thought, what the heck, I might as well fire it up from here.
Percentages aren't usually bad whenever he has a good look 3 years. A step back and a jumper that's going to be off. As that time, Allegri came up empty. The Eastern Washington Eagles trying to climb back after an early deficit. Connect gets his first 3-pointer, and the lead is back to 13.
What a great pickup he's been. He started the first 11 games, Dalton Connect I'm referring to, before Cookshausen took over, and Connect became kind of the super 6th man on this Bears team.
A post up, a Cleese going to work at the baby arc. That's 34-23 now.
As I said, he is a low down on that low block. 6'6" and 235 with great lower body strength and balance. I'd call this Eastern Washington zone a 3-2, but I think it may be a 1-3-1.
Johnson in rhythm. And for Matt Johnson, he has 11 points. He is 3 for 4 from 3-point range.
His teammates call him Matty Ice for a reason. We saw him hit a 3-pointer with a guy hanging on him at Weber State not long ago to send that game into overtime, where they came away with a win.
What a big win it was for that program, with the way they had been climbing and playing clutch games and needing clutch plays to win. Connect. Floating off the glass, bumps it off the front rim. Eastern Washington down by 12. Trying to make a run here before the end of the half. A 3 from Ethan Price is good. And the lead is down to 9.
Ethan Price coming into this game having made 32 threes on the year, so it's not like he doesn't shoot it very often. He feels pretty, he caught that in rhythm and shot it with a lot of confidence.
Kuntz hammers down another 3. They can just take the air right out of you, as Eastern Washington's been working so hard to cut into this lead. A flick of the wrist and it's back to 12.
Boy, that was just such a nifty little move to create a little space for himself. Left to right between his legs and a step back. John Cooch, who hasn't scored. Oh, by the way, he's got 3 offensive rebounds, 5 total, and 2 assists.
And setting some nice screens, doing well in the high post. Whatever it takes.
Well, I mentioned,
John Cooch is your guy.
Yeah, he's not real skilled on the low block, but he gets so much done, and he doesn't try to be a skilled low block guy. Nice heads-up play by Kuntz there, knowing that the 10-second clock was getting close, and he just took it and split a couple defenders there.
Moved by Johnson to get inside, but isn't able to hit. Cleese lost the handle. Johnson dives for it, has it, tries to get it to a teammate, and now a whistle and a foul.
How about Matty Johnson diving on that floor like a bum on a ham sandwich? Man, what great hustle by Matty Ice.
This loose ball here, yeah, he's able to get to it. And I love that they call the foul there. They don't just cop out and call a jump ball automatically.
Right,
you don't
right.
assume that. Many times you'll see a foul take place and they just resort to a jump ball. They get this one right, and this is a big call because Johnson goes to the line. And Johnson, an 80% free throw shooter. As you know, so valuable to this team. He hits the first. Not only does he have a chance to get the lead back to 12, where this is in the game and shot clock turns this into a 2-for-1.
No question. His 12th point, 4 or 5 now from the, no, I'm sorry, I was looking at the 3-point line. That's his first free throws of the night.
Landek in the game for Eastern Washington. Bergerson and the Eagles know they need a key possession here. They're down by 11. Into the paint, Cleese to work. Multiple moves. Eventually, it goes to Bergerson, who drives the right side and scores. Great offensive possession. The lead is 9. Northern Colorado will take their use it or lose it timeout. And Coach Smiley, his dad, played at Pennsylvania College, Penn Valley College, I should say. Misses on the back end. They split the last 2 trips to the line. Eastern Washington with a chance to end things the right way. Here's Landek, a right corner 3. That's off. The putback is in. Final 20 minutes. If you were Coach David Riley, what was the big message there to your team?
Well, you got to get out and guard the 3-point line. You're giving up 50%. The Bears 9 of 18 from the 3-point line, but easier said than done as they lead the Big Sky in 3-point percentage and have all year.
Dalen Kuntz with the left is off the mark. Kuntz had 11 in that first half. And it was a very good half in so many different areas for Northern Colorado. They went the entire half, by the way, not giving up an offensive rebound. Cleese just misses. A hard drive, and John Cooch, who's been so busy all over the court, comes down with another rebound.
John Cooch's 6th rebound, 3 offensive rebounds, and Matty Johnson just having a game.
Matt Johnson now with 15 points. He is 4 of 5 from beyond the arc.
Well, that's really no surprise. Coming into this game, he had been on a run of 3 out of 4 of his last games, scoring 20 or more. 17 points in that loss they had, that heartbreaking loss they had at Montana State, where they took a 2-point lead with 4 seconds left and got beat on a 40-footer by 1.
Venters cut off by Jean Cooch, who continues to play fantastic defense here tonight. Bergerson goes for Price, lost it. Venters has to beat the buzzer. He beats the buzzer but doesn't get the shot. First offensive rebound for Eastern Washington is collected, and Cleese misses deep in the paint.
Well, core John Cooch is just showing who is the tallest hog at the trough around that basket as he defends everything, rebounds everything, and showing great athleticism.
Price bounces underneath. It's poked away by Kuntz and collected by Matt Johnson.
You know, it's interesting watching these Bears play too, Tony. They don't show a lot of emotion. They have what I think is a very businessman-like approach to the game. They just play. They don't get upset at mistakes. They don't get too high on great plays. They have a great level of concentration.
Venters with a step, the scoop layup. The foul is going to take place before the shot. Dalen Kuntz called for this one. And Eastern Washington just having a tough time finding some of that consistency they want to play with. Some of it, Jean Kuntz, some of it just missing some opportunities. Here's another deep look in the paint. They get this one to go. As Allegri hits this bucket, he has 6 now.
Well, they have, down to 11. Excuse me, Tony, they have scored 22 points in paint, which is the good news. The bad news is they have given up 30 points from the three-point line. We talked about the contrasting styles before the game ever started of a three-point shooting team and a team that wanted to power it inside.
Jean Kuntz went high up in the air to get that one. It's been tremendous what he has been to this team, as he was one of the big breakthroughs for this team. Core ended up helping them win 2 very close games. He had a game-winning bucket against Montana, then had the game-winning block in overtime against Montana State. That's when this team felt like they started to learn how to win close games, because they had some tough non-conference schedule moments that prepared them for those games. They felt like they started to break through. The game at Weber State was another example. Matt Johnson emerging to a player that averages 20 points a game over his last 8. That's another indicator.
Jean Kuntz is just a great fit for this team, a great athlete that gives himself up for his team while they surround him with great scoring and shooting power.
Bodie Hume was getting the loose ball, and as he went to collect it, used a little soccer move there with the little tap on the foot. It's a natural decision to be made, but he knew it right when he made it. Good call by the officials, kickball. It'll go back to Eastern Washington. Hard drive underneath. Here's a Cleese, the left angle 3. No good. And Jean Kuntz, the rebound. He can run the floor, but he'll look to get it to somebody else as Cookshausen drives the base, has the floater, and can't get the bounce.
You know, I've talked about in previous games the 2 best athletes, I think, in the league are John Knight III and Colby McEwen from Weber State, but Core Jean Kuntz is not very far behind. What a great, great athlete that plays hard and knows his role for the Bears.
Born in Kenya, won back-to-back titles as a high school football player. Dalen Kuntz lowers the shoulder, gets the foul, goes to the line to shoot 2. His team roots in the state of Colorado. One area he wants to really start winning is right there in the state, because he believes they have a number of good quality players that would like to stay home.
Well, he's got 3 outstanding Colorado high school players on his team right now, and his Super 6-man, Dalton Connect, also a Colorado guy. So I think that is a very, very sound philosophy by Steve Smiley, who, you are right, has done a great job. His dad was a coach. Steve was the head coach at Sheraton College for 6 years. Spent a little time with Randy Ray, 2 seasons at Weber State. And I think he has this UNC program on a real sharp upward path, so to speak.
Bergerson throws it back for Price. Price against Jean Kuntz. Back to Bergerson with a clock at 1. He heaves it. That's a shot clock violation. The defense of Northern Colorado has had some really bright moments here tonight.
It really has, and that has been a little bit understated as to how solid this Northern Colorado team is defensively. And I think they've gotten a lot better defensively in this last month of the season.
Alley-oop, Jean Kuntz. What a terrific performance he's had so far here tonight, and that his first 2 points.
He's got 9 rebounds, 3 of them offensively, 2 assists and 1 steal. He knows his role and plays it well for the Bears.
And if you were to grade his defensive assignment, I don't know exactly what the percentage is, but it's certainly in the percentage of an A grade.
Well, what he does for this team defensively, because he's so long and such a great athlete, he could switch to a much smaller player stay in front of them, which really makes their ball screen defense go, because he can get out and show and get back to his guy, or he can switch and guard a smaller guy.
Acleese, and one. Linton Acleese, a young man from Richmond, gets that bucket in the foul. Played with a lot of force yesterday, 20 points and 6 rebounds. He's hoping that can spark the comeback here tonight, as his team was down by 17. A make here will make it a 14-point game.
Well, Cleese has had a great year. He's second team all Big Sky Conference, 7th in the league in scoring, 6th in rebound, and led the league in field goal percentage. 9
points, 7 rebounds here tonight. Coach David Riley looking on. As one thing you know about this team, they're about as tough as anybody in the league. Mental toughness, physical toughness. They've instilled that in this program very well.
And that's where Matt Johnson makes great decisions, knowing when to push the gas pedal, when to let off of it. That time he let off of it and got his team in their half-court offense.
Johnson misses there. The O board comes down by Kennedy. Slicing through, Dalen Kuntz can't get the layup. Kennedy, another O board. Here's Johnson alone. That's off. Bodies flying everywhere. A deflection, and now the Eagles with numbers. The layup is good from Price, and the deficit is 12.
And at that point, UNC was a victim of their own efforts, chasing down after that loose ball, 2 of them. What great, great effort by Jean Cooch, and I think that was Bryce Kennedy chasing it down to the corner, but left them in a bad way in transition defense.
Kennedy misses the 3. The loose ball is off the knee of Kennedy. It'll go to Eastern Washington. Certainly live with those, of course, those effort and hustle plays. But with that said, a little spurt here from Eastern Washington. So they try to continue to cut into the lead. Northern Colorado 0 for their last 4. They've had some great looks.
They have a lead down to 12 now. The 14 has been their largest lead of the game, but it has stayed pretty steady at around double figures since early in the game. See, now look at this matchup. John Cooch on Steele Venters.
Venters, the fadeaway is off. And the rebound coming down to Kuntz. Leaves it off for Johnson. Johnson's gonna back it up, start the possession over.
Good job by Burgess forcing him away from that ball screen and not letting him use John Cooch in that pick and roll situation.
A corner 3 on the way and just misses from Connect. Loose ball foul on the rebound, and there comes the pressure on the offensive glass from Jean Cooch.
Well, I tell you who is working like a government mule on that glass down there. Bryce Kennedy, the 6'7" freshman out of Allen, Texas. Man, he is really going to work down at that offensive glass.
Putting in some good minutes, giving them some extra possessions they weren't able to hit earlier. Cuxhausen into the paint now to Jamel Melvin, who's checked in. Melvin sets a screen for Johnson. Now Johnson will go out to Kennedy. He drives and kicks out to Johnson with 5 on the clock. Johnson creates but can't connect. And a travel on the loose ball, the rebound, and the outlet.
Boy, that was tough because Eastern Washington had a chance on a run out there. I tell you who hadn't got a look at the basket here lately is Drew Cuxhausen. After having that flurry and then getting to the free throw line to shoot 3, he has pretty much been absent offensively until then.
And Cuxhausen gets the look and hits.
Until
right as you were saying it.
Until
Northern Colorado was 0 for their previous 6, 1 of their previous 8. And if you were Coach Riley, you knew you had to take advantage of that more than they were able to. Venters on the drive. Still
nice
Venters, who had just 61 total points at Eastern Washington. He has 79 threes this year.
Well, second team all-league. He's about 15 pounds of muscle away from being one of the top 2 or 3 players in the league. He leads his team in scoring and three-point shooting. And as I said, second team all-league. And now the Bears have gone a little cool.
They made 1 of their last 8. What a drive. Tough take. Venters can't get it to go. Price back up, but he's blocked by Connect, but goes up again. Shows you the value of three-point shooting. They're shooting 38% from the field. They lead by 11. They've made 11 three-pointers.
Well, they have cooled down a little bit this half. Only 2 of 7 this half after being 50% in the first half. Big
O-board from Allegri. And now Eastern Washington gets a chance to cut it to single digits. A long three is no good from Allegri. The offensive board, another chance. Acleese is off. And Eastern Washington is 2 of 12 from 3. And Northern Colorado, based on three-point percentage, ranked dead last during Big Sky Conference play. Acleese this rebound. He'll outlet to Price. Here comes Magnuson up the court. Just over 11 minutes left here in regulation. Cuxhausen called for a foul while overplaying the pass. He didn't like that call.
No, he didn't. And here comes Bodie Hume and Core John Cooch back in the game. I wonder how long Coach Smiley would rest them. Now, John Cooch has, there's only one foul. Bodie Hume with 3. But they have not played quite as well with those two off the court.
Ferguson throws it up for Price. Another empty trip here for Eastern Washington.
And that's what Core John Cooch and Bodie Hume bring to the table. John Cooch on that switch, and then Bodie Hume on the help and the block. Great athleticism and length by the two of them.
Johnson tries to go underneath for John Cooch. He gets it outside. Here is Kuntz driving the lane, left hand. What a finish.
He is terrific like that. Really short little shot fake. You can't let him shoot it out there. You've got to kind of chase him off the three-point line, and then he is a great finisher in the paint.
Kuntz with 15 now. The lead is back to 13, but Eastern Washington really had their chances to cut into it more.
Well, they did.
Cleese working hard deep. Tough chance deep in the paint. Can't get it. Ball knocked out of bounds. It will stay with Eastern Washington. With 10:03 left, we've essentially hit this fourth quarter. And this is where things really turn up.
That was great individual defense by Bodie Hume, strengthening my point that there's not a whole lot to defense other than staying down and staying between your man and the basket. And Bodie Hume did that and used his length.
A block now by Dalen Kuntz as Landeck drove in hard.
And Matty Johnson just continues to make those subtle little decisions like he did then, knowing when to push it, when to bring it out, run their half-court offense, and when to give it to that guy.
Hume, baseline drive. Kuntz, baseline drift. But he comes up empty off the heel. Acleese coming downhill with the pull-up. Can't get the bounce. And Acleese, 4 of 11 from the field, does have 9 points to go with his 9 rebounds.
I believe the largest lead of the game, Tony, has been 17 by UNC, but it has stayed double digits for most of this game.
Hume, a good look 3, and can't get that bounce. Northern Colorado, 2 of their last 12. But Eastern Washington has not been able to take advantage of some of these droughts. A step back, and it's going to be no good.
Pretty solid across the board. Eastern now with a little double team press here.
This ball knocked out of bounds off of Eastern Washington. And the Eastern Washington bench thought that one was off of Dalen Kuntz. Venters, by the way, with 3 fouls. Price with 3 fouls. Acleese now with 3 fouls. It's a 13-point game. Northern Colorado has been in control for just about the entire game. Long 3 on the way, and it's way off from Cuxhausen. And how about Jean Cooch throwing the ball off of Acleese to give Northern Colorado the ball back? Those are the plays he just makes.
You have heard me use this terminology for the last 2 days about star role players. John Cooch, not even on any of the 3 all-conference teams, nor honorable mention, but how valuable he is to this Bears' success.
It is uncanny just how many invisible acts of winning take place. That's not going to show up on a stat sheet.
No.
That he saved the ball in bounds and threw it off of somebody.
One of the 3 guys on this Paris team who have played 100 games, all at Northern Colorado. He, Hume, and Johnson.
What a block by Ethan Price, the freshman of the year, as you talked about. A guy that was recruited by USC and Georgia Tech. I'll tell you, both benches just erupted before that last inbound, and I am not quite sure what the discussion was about.
No, I'm not either.
They inbound with 3. A step back that's blocked, and Eastern Washington has it. Block coming up empty on that possession, but had to put it up. Landek terminates the dribble. Goes high out right, a spinning move into the paint. A foul, and 2 free. Got off to the slow start, came away with the victory. And then in the first game, it was a slow start for Montana State, but they took off.
Well, and this one is a long way from being over, Tony. Almost 8 minutes to go, down 12. Eastern Washington has a chance to make a final run here.
The door has been open for them. They were down by 17. And it's been cold shooting here in the second half for Northern Colorado. They're shooting just 22% from the field in the half. They're only 2 of 11 from 3. A strip. And what do we have? The ball's out of bounds to Northern Colorado. And Eastern Washington fans don't like it.
Northern Colorado's got to do a little bit better job of attacking this press. They just continue to throw it in to where they could get trapped and then have to throw it across the face of the defense out of that double team. They need to try to get the ball inbounded to the middle of the court.
Kennedy to Jean Couch. Double team comes. He throws out of it, a deflection and a steal. Venters lost the handle for a moment. Back to Venters underneath. Acklese, a lean, a foul, and he'll go to the free throw line.
And this allows Eastern Washington on a made free throw to set that press back up. UNC needs to run a guy right down the middle and get a catch in the middle of the court as opposed to just being content to enter it and then fighting that double team, in my opinion.
Northern Colorado has gone scoreless for just under 4 minutes. Eastern Washington without a field goal in 4:23. If they have to get it done from the line, they will, but a miss here. Now, so far in the game, Eastern Washington shooting 5 of 9 from the stripe.
Northern Colorado, coming out last time out, is only shooting 34% for the game as they shoot 48% for the year, the best shooting team in the league. So they've built this 10-point lead while really not having that outstanding of a shooting game.
Acklese with 10 and 10. The difference now is 10. Kuntz has to chase this one down to the corner. Clock is down to 2-1, and it's going to be a timeout. Last 10. No field goals from the Eagles over the last 4:33. Johnson catches the inbound. The pressure will be there into that backcourt. Johnson now settles them in to a half-court possession. Gets to the block, floats it over Price, and the lead is back to 12. That's exactly what the Bears needed to settle in here.
So under control is Matty Johnson. A lot of guys in that situation would have left their feet and tried to score it over the big 6'11" center. A nice jump stop.
Bergerson muscles one in, and the foul. The young man whose dad was a great player at Boise State, as you know, and drafted by the Hawks, a Boise State Hall of Famer. Played overseas. Rylan Bergerson making his dad proud. A 2-time All-Southland Conference player.
There's Rylan's dad, Roberto Bergerson, who played for years right here in this arena for the local CBA team. In fact, he used to have his jersey hanging here in retirement.
Kuntz stops in the lane, goes with the left. The loose ball is knocked out of bounds off of Jean Couch and will go to Eastern Washington. They have cut this to a single-digit deficit, and they have enough time. They certainly do.
Trying once again to take advantage of a size mismatch with Cuxhausen.
They've been able to get the ball in the paint. They've been able to get it deep in the paint.
And
As a matter
Bodie
of fact,
Hume,
so far they have 32 total points in the paint on the night. 32 of their 49 have come from there.
nice move by Coach Smiley, putting Bodie Hume in for Cuxhausen.
Venters on a catch and shoot. And it's now a 7-point game with under 6 minutes to go. Connect, drives left, pulls up, rims out. Eastern Washington on the move here. Allegri finds Venters, another fadeaway.
Wow, back-to-back big basket.
Venters with 15 points.
Cutting the lead to 5, and the second-team All-League guy, the Eagles' leading scorer, coming up big in the last 2 possessions, hitting tough fadeaway jump shots. 5
minutes left. We have a 5-point game. We have a foul away from the ball. This will be the 15th foul against Eastern Washington. They now have 1 to give. Eastern Washington is in the bonus on the other end. We have a fun last 5 minutes coming up and a big steal. Bergerson has it. Long court pass. Here's a Cleese, and what a block by Dalton Connect. A clutch defensive play there. Johnson can't capitalize on the other end. Starting to get frenetic out there. Venters, a pull-up, and he is personally willing the Eagles back to what is now a 2-point deficit. He has 18 points.
7 straight baskets by the freshman Steele Venters. And what once looked like a Bears easy win has turned into a 2-point game.
I think Kuntz just got away with a double dribble.
You and everyone else in the gym.
Johnson, drive and kicks to Connect. Connect with 2, back to an open Johnson at the horn. Yes, sir.
Matty Ice, they call him for a reason.
22 for Johnson. He is 5 of 8 from 3. Bergerson. Venters with a hand in his face. He was feeling it. What a tap out by Allegri. Eastern Washington, another 3. No. During this stretch for Northern Colorado, who has won 8 of their last 11. They've done it winning clutch, close games, not just the shots that win, the shots that put games away. Kuntz. So far on the night with 15, but 5 of 15. Was back to Connect. Into the corner. Hume for 3, a big one.
And back-to-back threes by 2 super seniors may be the stretch that saves the Bears here.
He was 0 for 4 from 3 before that make right there. Venters corkscrews one up and gets it. What was that?
I judge it. Steele Venters has just taken over offensively for the Eagles here.
Everything he's throwing up is going in. He has 20, but his team is still down by 6.
The Bears with 2 timeouts left and the Eagles with 3 left if this thing gets really sticky down toward the end.
Kuntz, a mid-range pull-up.
And you just saw 3 of those guys who have played 100 games in their career just make big-time shots. Kuntz, Johnson, and Hume.
Foul. And a trip to the line now for Eastern Washington. That will send Bergerson to the stripe.
Well, Rylan Bergerson is just a tough matchup for a point guard. 6'6", 215 pounds. He averages 13, but he led the league in assists and assist-to-turnover ratio. And again, like I say, just a tough matchup physically.
First free throw is going to be good. Bergerson, you know all about his dad? You recruited his dad? Coached his dad?
Recruited his dad, was at his doorstep at
That's
midnight.
Right. He went somewhere else.
Yeah.
You were hoping.
Two different places, Washington, and then had a great career as he transferred and followed his high school coach to Boise State and had just a fabulous Hall of Fame career at Boise State.
What a tap in here from Allegri. A three-point play. 2 minutes left, and it's a 5-point game. Allegri said, I was not trying to foul him.
Well,
they call the foul.
Not a great foul there, 50 feet from the basket.
Whether or not you meant to is one thing. Whether or not Randy Richardson is ruling that a foul is another. It's a 1-and-1 trip at the line, and Johnson is an 80% free throw shooter. He missed. It's as good as a takeaway, an empty possession. Here comes Allegri, his team down by 5. Slides inside and throws to the corner. Kuntz unable to collect that one. Tightrope in the baseline. It'll stay with Eastern Washington.
The Eagles got a break there because Allegri was way out of control, not knowing where he was going to go with that ball, and just flung it out there, and Kuntz could not corral it.
Allegri will go to Bergerson. On a curl Venter, shot fake and a drive. A fade. He is on fire. A lot of guys spread out there to ensure the inbound. The pressure is on from the defense of Eastern Washington. They double immediately on Johnson. Kuntz running around in the backcourt. He has 3 seconds to get it across. Loose ball knocked out of bounds. And it was off Eastern Washington. The Eagles want a review. They're going to send him to the benches. 2 things here. It might be Eastern Washington ball, and if it's not, Coach Riley needs to make sure they defend in a way to remember that Northern Colorado only has 1 second to get the ball across the timeline. Eastern Washington saying there was a double tap.
Yeah, they need to get it in and bring it. They got 21 seconds left on the shot clock. They don't have a whole lot of time to fool around with it. Two timeouts left for both teams, which is going to play big in this last minute 30. Free throw shooting also a huge key here, as Matt Johnson has hit clutch shots all year, but missed the front end of that last 1-and-1.
Taking an extra long look at it, all the different views, tough to tell.
Yeah. Well, the official was right there on it and made a quick call, so I don't know if they'll be able to overcome this or not, or overturn this or not, excuse me.
Conversation at the scores table right now during this review. A big moment. Because if Eastern Washington could have possession here, cut this to a 1-point game, maybe even tie it. It will stay with Northern Colorado.
What a crazy game, Tony. It looked like the Bears were just cruising with 10 minutes left in the game, and then Steve Venters took over. I've lost track of how many points. He had 7 at one stretch with 2 fall-aways and a 3, and then I think he has scored a couple more since then. He's put up double figures here in about the last 5 minutes.
Quite a show he's put on. Northern Colorado set to inbound. Connects, looking to throw into the front court, and does. He gets it to Johnson. Johnson so far in the game, 22 points. He's 5 of 8 from 3. Hume back to Johnson with a step inside. A great give and go.
What a great little give and go. And that wasn't the play. The play was supposed to be for Bodie Hume on a post ice there. But just that great chemistry of those guys playing together, showing there.
Kuntz thought he had a block, and instead they called the foul. This will be his fourth. Hume has 4 as well.
And that's a shooting foul. Bergerson goes to the line with a couple. Once again, being able to cut this down to a 1-possession game, a 3-point game.
Bergerson 2 of 3 from the free throw line so far today. It's his 13th point.
Northern Colorado really needs to block out here. 2 big, strong athletes on the line for Eastern Washington. The worst thing could happen is Bergerson miss one, and then the Bears not corral the rebound.
Second one on the way. It's a 3-point game. Bergerson, who played his high school ball here in Boise. They've been practicing and shooting around at his high school gym. We have 1 minute left in regulation. It is a 3-point game. Connect. Goes to Kuntz, high out left.
And Eastern doesn't have to foul here. They need a stop.
Hume stripped and taken away by Acklese. He's fouled on his way.
And that's
double
Hume's
bonus.
5th foul.
And that will take him out of the game. What a clutch defensive play by Acklese. For Acklese, it's been a tough night shooting at 5 of 14. He's 0 of 3 from distance, but he has 11 rebounds, 12 points. And he's made the tough plays tonight. Hume will come out. It'll bring in Jamel Melvin.
And Acklese leads this team in free throw shooting at 86%, 69 for 80. So the Eagles with their best free throw shooter on the line.
Acklese hits it. Valentin Acklese, a transfer, as we've talked about, from San Francisco State, and was a late addition to this team. Was out a few games when they thought he hurt his foot. It was very evident. They say you can sense when he came back. He brings the juice. 14 for him. They've trailed by as many as 17, and now it is a 1-point game. Johnson in trouble in the backcourt, goes to Kuntz. The throw up ahead of the court now to connect. Northern Colorado out of sorts here. They're going to call. Kennedy set to inbound. He'll throw all the way into the backcourt where Kuntz has to go get it. Shot clock is down to 10. Game clock down to 19. Tense moments here in the quarterfinals of the Big Sky Tournament. Kuntz is rejected. And here come the Eagles. Down by 1, a chance to win it. Venters behind the back, a floater, short, loose ball, collected, block, put up Acklese on the rim, no, and that'll do it.